point just one of the stories that I wrote about, because it illustrates something very powerfully. Whilst at the Bouverie Clinic, I saw this child, this girl, who suffered from what was referred to as shower phobia. In other words, she was petrified and she refused to go into the shower. And before she was referred to me with her family, people didn't understand and make sense of what was happening here. And to me, as soon as I met with the family and I realized that parents are Holocaust survivors, immediately I guessed what was really going on, and one or two questions of the parents revealed what I suspected, namely that they talked regularly about what happened in the Holocaust, about walking into the showers and ending up in gas chambers. My point here is this, that to somebody of my background and generation, it's a no-brainer. Any person who grew with I often think of it as that I've always smelled the smoke of the gas chambers. It was so obvious, yet it was not obvious to non-Jewish therapists, to people who are not familiar with that part of our history. And this is the way life is, and it's acceptable. What I remember, though, making me very angry was looking at the files of families who have been through the Holocaust. And when their history was taken, it usually started, arrived in Australia in 1948, 51, and what happened to them before they arrived was never explored. And I think probably one of the biggest motivators on me to present about my work with survivors was the anger of ignoring or not acknowledging or not exploring the Holocaust. Now, in the case by other therapists, by other mental health professionals, because when, in the case of the shower phobia, maybe it's the connection is a bit obscure, but when a man comes to see you and he suffers from depression, and not to explore the fact that he has witnessed the murder of his children in the Holocaust, or the murder of other, or his parents or other members of the family, it defies, for me there was something about it that was outrageous.
So how did you deal with that?
Well, it was a gradual dawning on me that that was happening. And as I prepared for my presentation at the first conference, it hit me more and more how common it is, how prevalent it is. So, and when I presented, how I dealt with it is going public on it. I dealt with my anger in my own way, so I didn't express the anger. But what I did write about was this, that I said that I wrote about a series of cases, I hate the word cases, a series of families in which the presenting problems that people came to therapists with could not be properly understood and be helped or resolved because the Holocaust was not acknowledged. And when the Holocaust was brought into the thinking, the issues that people came to the therapist with and eventually came to me could be understood, and therefore the family to varying degrees could be helped. So that was my first presentation. It was really about families I worked with where prior to them coming to see me, they sought help elsewhere and they were not helped because, from my point of view, the Holocaust was not brought into the conversation and into the thinking. What then happened was that after publishing in Generation, I reworked this article and published a similar one in the Australian New Zealand Journal of Family Therapy titled Silence, Working with Survivors and Their Families. And again, I think it may have been the first publication of its kind, certainly in family therapy in Australia, but it may be in the mental health field. And it generated a lot of interest, and one way or another, it got republished as is, or asking me to change and modify. And I also started doing workshop presentation about that work.